G'day, Troy here from FM Live, doing my first ever video for FM Scout, which is a massive honour, seeing that I've used the website for many years and I've also been subscribed to the channel for some time now. So for my first video, a couple of the boys are going through the teams they support in real life, and they'll tell you why you should pick that team for Football Manager 2017. But I wanted to change it up just a little bit. So what I wanted to do is give you a challenge for when FM17 comes out, and that challenge is to manage in the land of Oz. So let's get straight into it. Okay, so for the A-League, there's only the one league. There are other leagues within Australia, but that's the top league, and that's the only league that's that you can pick in FM17 and 16 and the years gone past. So it is 10 teams, and as you can see there, the top 6 teams in the green. So what that is the regular season, obviously they play for points, and that would go towards their tally. And the top team obviously comes first, they get the premiers. But they go into a final series, and that's the series that counts. So if you win that grand final, that's the major trophy you're looking to win. If you do win the premiers, yeah, that's it's a good honor. But what you want to do is to win that grand final, and that will really decide the best team of the league. Alright, so also going alongside that competition domestically is the FFA Cup. Not the FA Cup with added an F. That means it's a little bit better than the FA Cup. Okay, so just like the dodgy FA Cup over in England, this is very similar, as in you have the lower teams that are not in this league, they can never get there, but they're in the competition. So you'll play a couple of sides in Australia, every state around Australia, and try to get to the top. Basically, it's just a knockout. It's essentially exactly the same as the FA Cup, just with that extra F. So remember, I'm not entirely sure what the extra F stands for. Fun, extra fun. Also with that, if you're going to compete, the top 3 sides will go into the ACL, the Asian Champions League, and that's the big one. Very hard to win, seeing that we've got the teams from Japan, Korea, we've got those big teams from China, the ones that are buying these players and spending lots of money, and that can be a problem, seeing that there is a salary cap, and we'll go through those rules in a second for the A-League. So that can be pretty difficult to win and progress through that. So I found it pretty difficult myself. An Australian team has won it before, just recently actually, and it was a massive day, especially it was a team I support in real life. It was a massive night for us, and very, very difficult to win, but that's probably your major challenge. That's maybe where you want to end your challenge there, that Asian Champions League, because that can take a fair while to actually build up to there. Alright, so just a couple of quick rules that I want to bring out. So the players signed on free transfers can be registered at any time. So you can sign a free transfer at any time, and they can be registered to play throughout the whole season. Also, they're allowed guest players, so a player can come in for a short period of time as a guest player, and they don't have to be registered. So you can possibly get some guy that's a bit older, he's off contract, an ex-superstar, come in for a couple of games, you have a bit of fun with him. Okay, the key areas you want to look at within this league is the squad registration. So you're allowed a maximum of 5 foreign players, which is okay. That's pretty easy to deal with. There's a maximum of 20 over 20 players. So there's a registration of 23 players in total, and you do need to register just a maximum of 20 of those players that are over the age of 20. So you do need 3 players which are under the age of 20. So you need a couple of youngsters in there as well, so you need to develop your youth a little bit. You need a decent kind of youth facilities, because 20 players, that's not too many. That's not a great squad depth. So you need those youngsters coming through to have some pretty decent talent if you want to compete, especially if you get a couple of injuries here and there. Okay, and this is the big one. This is one you really have to look out for. So this is the salary cap, and it's capped at about $23,000 per week. That excludes marquee players. So marquee players are only decided by the board when you're trying to sign that player. So they all decide if that contract is worth being a marquee contract. Now, obviously, being in the Australia League, not every player will want to come. So you can get those older players that are kind of finishing up their career. You can come over. Some of the bigger names have come. There's only a couple that come to mind at the moment. So we've had Dwight York, Del Piero, and Robbie Fowler. They all come to the A-League for a year or two, and they had a good time. They actually absolutely smashed the league. But the main guy that's here now as a marquee player, the biggest player in Australia that's ever put on the Australian shirt, is Timmy Cahill. So he's come back. The prodigal son has returned back to Australia, and he's an example of one of those marquee players. So with your marquee players, you can actually sign 2 marquee players for the season. So you can register 2 players, and that won't count anywhere towards your salary cap. Obviously, you need to have money in the bank to try to pay these players. You can't just go over someone worth 200k unless you've got a very healthy bank balance, which none of the A-League teams have. I'll just let you know that now. Okay, and for registering players, you can register them just your basic times, 29th of July to the 20th of October. And I just want to switch screens for a second, and this will probably be a little bit easier to explain. Okay, so we have your basic squad registration screen, and it has the normal conditions down the bottom. So we've gone from the maximum squad size, 24 players, the 5 foreign players, and I'll go through and see how many you've got and how many you can get. It goes over your salary cap as well, and in your marquee players and whatnot. So what happens is you got 23 players. If you choose to leave out a player, you have no reserve squad. They cannot play in the youth team. So what will happen if I just decide to go over here and get rid of Aritz Border? So if I get rid of him and I want to confirm the squad, what it's going to tell me is the following unregistered player will leave by mutual agreement. So if he's a younger player and you want to just leave him in the youth team, maybe train with the senior side, but he'll play for the youth team. No, he can't do it. He's going to be, his contract is going to be terminated, and you won't have that player anymore. It's basically, and also the kicker is release players will still count towards your salary cap. So if you're right on the edge of that salary cap, and maybe you need just to get rid of that one player so you can get under. Not going to happen, because that will still count towards your salary cap, which is a kicker, and it's very difficult to try to manage the squad in this way. But that's the challenge within the A-League. Alright, so the challenge that lay ahead is the squad building. You need to look at the wages, as I said, because you've got the salary cap, you need to look at the wages every year. You've got to have a look at the players that you're paying the most amount of money and see, look, are they actually worth it? Can I get someone in that can do a better job for cheaper? And you need to constantly rotate your players and rotate your squad. And what that's going to force you to do is to have a look at your tactic each and every year. So if you're someone that's new and you don't really like designing tactics and you don't really know how to do it, this is a great opportunity for you to sit down, have a look at the tactics each and every year for the individuals that you have. Because remember, they're going to change, maybe not every year and every player is going to change, but you're going to want to change them fairly often. You're not going to have that one guy in your side for 10 years. If he's a good player, he's a region that's come through, he's a brilliant talent, good chances are that he's going to want to leave for Europe, which you can't hold on to him. You might make a little bit of money, which is good, but you're going to have to rebuild your squad again. You can't build your squad around one player. You have to constantly rebuild, and that's the challenges that you can face when playing the A-League, and that's the fun of it. It's something different. We always find ourselves with Football Manager playing the same kind of saves. It's either a journeyman, you're in there 1 year, you go somewhere else, or you bring up a team all the way from the lower leagues of England, and then you go for glory, you go for the Champions League. It's all very familiar. If you are looking for a different kind of challenge this year in 2017, I say go have a look at A-League. Alright, so while we're at it, we'll show you 2 sides that I think you should probably pick up for FM17. The first side is the one that's on the screen now. Western Sydney Wanderers, that's my team. That's who I support in real life. And they've got a good side, they've got a very decent side. They've got a very good manager. They've the newest side in the league, joined in 2012. And the 2012-13 season. In that season, they won the premiership. And I think the next season they won the premiership as well, or at least they got to the grand final. So in the last 4 years, they've got to 3 grand finals. 1 year they bombed massive, and also within that, they were the team to win the Asian Champions League, which is massive, especially here in Australia. So they're a good team and a very good example of the A-League and what I'm trying to talk about with rebuilding the squad each year. The first year they came in, none of the players actually played with each other before. They all came together. The manager had to build a brand new tactic for all these brand new players, and they won the league. They didn't go on to win the grand final, which is that big prize that I'm talking about, and I'm sure they'll win it soon because they keep on rebuilding and they keep on getting better and better each year. So hopefully if you choose to play in the A-League, you'll choose these guys, you'll have a little bit more success. Although just that final step, that grand final, that's the only thing missing from this team. Okay, the second team on the radar will be Melbourne City. And Melbourne City have a couple things going for them. Their affiliated club is Manchester City. As you can see, that emblem looks very familiar. So they've got that feeder side. I don't think they can loan players from them, but what they do is they play a friendly match, which the gate receipts will go to Melbourne City. So you can make a little bit of money. They've got some pretty good finances as well. And the big kicker is, this is Timmy Cahill, the Prodigal Sons team, and he's come back. He'll join for 2 seasons, so you'll have him for the first 2 seasons. If we click on him, I very much doubt he's going to have those attributes. 35, he's going to be 36 in the game. He'll be 38 when he retires. Jesus is getting old, but he can still head the ball in the back of the net. Good natural fitness at 18. Look, I'm sure they won't decline too much. He is an absolute legend in the Australian game, and I'm glad to see him back in the A-League. Alright guys, well we'll leave it there. And if you're choosing to be in a obscure league, maybe the A-League or a different league around the world, maybe you've had enough, you want to try something a little bit different, let us know in the comments. It'll be interesting to see where everyone's heading for FM17. And for FM17, stay tuned to the channel FM Scout. Subscribe if you haven't, and also if you want, go over to subscribe to my channel FM Live. There's going to be a lot more content for FM17 coming from the 2 channels. So yeah, let's get into it. I can't wait. It's only a couple of days or a couple of weeks time before the actual game comes out. Can't wait to get my hands on it. Alright guys, I'll leave it there, and thanks for watching.